My name is Anika. Most of you probably know that, mostly. And I'm here to talk to you about my trip to Nepal with the Maya Gold Foundation. Most of you know that the Maya Gold Foundation is a local nonprofit based in Nepal, and their goal is to empower youth to access their inner wisdom and realize their dreams. They do some amazing work really close to here, and they also do a lot of work across the world in Nepal. So this year I went for 2 weeks to Kathmandu, Nepal with over a dozen other Hudson Valley teens. And when I was there, we did so much. Our schedule was packed. We went to an art class, cooking class, we went hiking. We volunteered at a school for several days. We saw historic sites, and we also spent a lot of time with other Nepali teens. And the first day we had met these teens, we went to their house, Kushigar, which in Nepali means happiness house. And they are supported by the Himalayan Children's Charity. They are either orphans or have parents that can't necessarily support them. So they live there together, and when we met them, we had planned an activity out, and we planned this activity called Play Shops. And before we left, we had many preparing meetings, and we had all decided what we were going to do before we went. Some people chose to do an arts activity. A few people prepared a video to share with them about what living in Nepal is like. And I decided to do a dance play shop. I think dance is a really great way to learn about another culture and share your own culture with others, as well as just break the ice and get people moving. I'm a dancer and a choreographer, and I have been for a while now, so I thought when I was asked to do a presentation that I would share a piece of choreography with you all. And this piece is going to be about the exploration of stillness and chaos, specifically the story of the earthquake in Nepal that disrupted life there, and the stillness of their spirituality. And that's going to be through the lens of dance. Some of the dance I was inspired by the play shop that we did at HCC Himalayan Children's Charity. And so the teams there taught us some of their dances, and we taught them some of ours. And so for this, I decided not to just stick to traditional Nepali dance, as it's not really a part of my movement vocabulary or culture, but I decided to add a piece of myself in there with my own style of improvisation and modern dance. So yeah, this is going to
Question, are you okay with videoing?
Yeah, I'm totally fine.
Cool.
I warm myself out there. So that was that. And now I'd like to offer an explanation of some of the symbols I had embedded in that dance and my inspiration for it. So let me get my...
But it didn't look like you were tired at all.
Well, now it does. Yeah, a little out of breath, bear with me. So,
You want to take a moment? Yeah. You can take a moment.
all good. I'm just going to work through it. So, I'm going to explain some of the symbols and some of the specific movements that I linked them to, and then afterwards I'm going to perform it again, a smaller version of it, shorter version, so that you can fully understand and maybe experience the dance in a different way. So the first symbol started with me walking in a circle 3 times. And this very literally represents the ritualistic walk that we as a group experienced multiple times a day, because we stayed near the Buddhanath Stupa in Nepal. And then the second time I did it, I had my arm out, and that was signifying the spinning of prayer wheels. And in Nepali culture, that is the sharing of spiritual blessings, and it's very similar to saying a prayer. So this is the stupa, if you don't know what a stupa is. Then, the next symbol was represented by this movement. And that was a period of stillness in the dance, because in Buddhist culture, lotuses signify the purity that can emerge from even the murkiest of waters. And I thought that had a really clear and beautiful connection to the purpose of my presentation today, which was to let you all know, and hopefully you can learn from this, that you can find stillness and peace in times of chaos and disorder. And something so beautiful can come from something that seems so ugly. Clearly, we love woods. The next symbol, which was more of an overarching theme, was the earthquake. And many of you know that in April of 2015, there were a few really devastating earthquakes in Nepal that had killed thousands of people. But when we were there, we were able to see a lot of the reconstruction and progress that was being done and built. And this is a picture I took of the building being rebuilt and fixed. And then this is a picture, not that I took clearly, but from one of the earthquakes. So seeing that progress and reconstruction was really amazing to me. And I drew a lot of inspiration from the people of Nepal and their generosity even after enduring such hardship. So, I'm just going to do it again, and hopefully you can maybe identify some of those symbols, and maybe you'll see the dancing you like. I hope that you're able to see some of those, and I don't know if it meant anything else to you or brought any other images or themes for you. And I would like to have an open discussion, have you guys answer some questions. But first, I want to ask you a question, and that is, what did you notice or feel when you saw the dance? So, if anyone would like to share, that would be great.
It was beautiful, and I had goosebumps the whole time, and for some reason I also felt tears welling up, and I don't know where that came from, but that was my experience.
So much. Maybe, I did try to really incorporate the themes that I used, because I noticed that it had a really significant place in where we were staying, and you could really identify what was affected by the earthquake, and the Nepali people's attitudes and care was just so clear. So I hope that I was able to bring that emotional element.
Go ahead.
The first time was so graceful, I just noticed that. But the second time after you talked about the earthquake, I could see the daily life in the beginning, just was sort of going, and then when it suddenly started moving, it was more of that sudden, I could really feel the earthquake part of it.
Yeah, when me and Diana were kind of brainstorming about what we should do, and we actually originally were thinking of sort of doing collaboration, but we didn't know how it would work because we weren't sure if we were both able to be here. But we had created a list of ideas and words that came to us when thinking about this theme. And eventually we kind of came up with a flow of like the beginning being maybe a little more hectic, a little more energy, and then slowing down, finding rituals and schedules almost that you can see keep people going after tragedy. And so, yeah, so we had picked a few words like that had to do with that, and we had also picked some ideas like prayer wheels, like prayer flags,
I mean, as knowing your dance, I've seen some stuff that I don't necessarily know, other motions, and I'm curious where some of that came from.
well, some of the emotions and movements, I got inspiration when doing those play shops with HCC teams, and we were really excited to like show some of them our kind of like stupid line dances and stuff we would do at school dances. But when we asked them to show us their typical dance, we were so like blown away, and we tried to learn them. And I just tried to pick out some of the things that I really liked, like that, and I sort of elongated it and stretched it out to fit with the rest of the dance. But we definitely learned some like new cool things that I really enjoyed and would love to learn more about.
Now those are traditional Nepali dances?
Yeah, and it really reminded me of just seeing like Bollywood dances in like big scenes with like 10 people, 100 people. And so, yeah, so they have a very big connection to India, but there were also very specific movements that I had never seen before.
I was alright, that was really good. I wonder how long did it take you to like prepare that and everything?
I wanted to have more time to do it, but I honestly crammed in this like last week a lot. We had met a few weeks ago and started improvising, and I had also just performed a senior solo at my dance studio. And so that was almost like a preparation for this, because I had never actually choreographed a solo on myself. It's a very like unique experience. You don't always have that like push of needing to choreograph for yourself. It's very different than choreographing for other people. So that was leading up to this. I definitely used some like elements from that dance in this dance that fit really well. But this, I would say, took like 2 weeks. Yeah, presentation I would get real quick.
I am just so moved by the beauty of it all, and I really did see beauty and grace within the chaos. So I might have had an assumption that you were going to, so that's my stuff, coming in, but we go in and out from chaos to stillness, chaos to stillness, but I really felt, certainly there were those moments of stillness that the lotus or what have you, but even in the chaos, inside it, I felt stillness and grace.
Yeah, and that kind of brings me to my like inspiration for the dance, and I talked about it a little bit, but my like what stemmed from this theme was like everyday kind of gems of peace and happiness that I would see in chaos and what appeared to be disorder to me. Like I would see a man every day dressed in orange, probably saw him too, with a bowl standing right next to the stupa, just very still. And he would be around this bustling, like crazy area, and I would just saw him like. And then on all the crazy, busy, hectic streets, there was always something that kept everyone from crashing. And there was like a stillness in a lot of the crazy scenes. And so my purpose of this is to have you all remember that even in the most chaotic, hectic, disorderly settings, that they can maybe be the most spiritually or self-powerful, But we just have to have the ability to like rest in those places of uncertainty. And it seems that the Nepali people have the key to this. And maybe it is their devotion to spirituality and their connection to themselves. Maybe it's their delicious dumplings. I don't know. But yeah, I just really wanted to share that with you. And you can ask any more questions if you have them.
I have a question, comment. So, as someone who lives up here most of the time, what I really, really loved about that was Nepal was right here. You brought it. You brought Nepal with no words. You know, the first time before you explained anything, and I was just like, oh, it's Nepal. There it is.
Great.
There. It's so beautiful. It's so heartfelt. Thank you.
And I really tried to bring some of those elements that I had experienced with me. And I forgot to mention that the music playing, was playing around the stupa all the time, always stuck in your head. We were always hearing it, and that was just one really big thing that I wanted to share with you if I were to try to take my experience here.
Did you have a question too?
No, no question.
I thought you said.
Oh, I did have one question.
Comment to
Someone-
question.
Thank you for
Yeah.
reading my mind. This gesture, was that yours or was that Nepali? No.
I don't know if I'm doing anything right, and I tried to look up some dance tutorials.
So
But there are definitely like a lot of like circular hand motions and gestures. There was a part when I did that.
Yeah.
That was just my choreography. That was actually my senior solo that I did a few weeks ago. That little phrase there. Yeah, that was me.
I appreciated the prayer of
Yes.
I really felt that, just having actually experienced it, I felt it much.
It was just so graceful and so beautiful, and I just really enjoyed watching. And I also saw a lot of elements that had a feeling of taking life, like taking experiences of life and then bringing them in to one's own body and experience. And then this also, well, when I saw the hand gesture, it made me think of like, well, our hands, we act in the world with our hands, but also like the way you were gazing at your hand was like reflecting on your actions in life. And then the one on the hip was like, it's almost like something was happening to you, and then it like influenced your foot, and it like took over your experience. But yeah, there was this mirroring of like conscious awareness and action kind of simultaneously. Like the conscious awareness is this still quality.
I never thought of those things, but I think that's the great thing about dance and art in general, that you can interpret it in different ways. And that's one of the reasons I had decided to show without explaining about the symbols, and then it was actually Diana's idea to show it again, so that you could fully embody and understand why I did what I did. Thank you.
Thank you.